Welcome to the Black Salt Mirror. Today we are going to be doing a tarot and oracle reading for the energies coming in. I've got the Moonchild Tarot today, which is one of my first and favorite decks because of the colors. This one I can almost taste the colors. We've got Death with the butterfly and moth. Got the death moth with a skull on it, and snakes, of course, because death is not the end, it's simply a shedding of the old and an introduction of the fresh new skin. And mushrooms up there on the top, the decomposers. Break everything down and give nutrients to all the life that's still out there, as it is all part of a cycle. So we have shed our skin from the last cycle, and now we are fresh and new and bigger, because part of the reason snakes shed is because they're growing, and the old skin has become too small for them. Let's see, it looks like 3 came out here. What do we have? Okay, we have the Emperor, the Empress, and the High Priestess, which are in order to, well, it's 4, 3, 2. This deck is very well shuffled. I have no idea why they're all there together. There's the Emperor. It looks like there's something on the tree, but it also looks like it's the top of his staff here. The little orange orb above his right shoulder. The Empress has got an orb in her hand in the middle, and she's a 3-faced goddess here and in the woods. And the High Priestess. So in the tarot, we start out with the Fool, who is 0, and it represents you and the journey that you go on. And the major arcana is the Fool's journey. And number 1 is the Magician, where the Fool encounters his world. And number 2 is the High Priestess, where he encounters the esoteric, the other side, the unseen part of the world, the things that you can feel and experience, but that are not tangible to you. The Empress gives life. And the Emperor is where you start to control your world. So what they're saying is that with the rebirth of this new cycle, this is also a major, that's 4 majors we have today. Although Death is 13, it's the second set after the shift of 10. So we are reborn in our second phase, whereas the rest of the collective are coming into the first steps of the new phase. And they are being met with this esoteric knowledge now, this new esoteric knowledge for the new life that they're experiencing. And it's being birthed and shown to them, and they're coming out with it together. They are also shedding their skin, but it's like a newer phase for them. And it's going to take a lot of time and meditation. All these plants are very new growth behind her, and you can see she's got her eyes closed, and she's thinking, and she's focusing, and she's got her hand up with her palm out because she needs time to focus. And so we're in a phase now where there's a lot happening, but the importance is to slow down and take it in, and to understand that everyone needs time to adjust. Everyone needs time to process and to integrate and to rebalance. She's the High Priestess here, has a familiar on her side right there. There's what looks like a crow, and she sits in between the light and the dark pillars, because the world, divine knowledge, is all light and dark. There's no good and bad. It's just the balance of the two. You cannot have one without the other. And she usually has a veil behind her Here you can see it's the back of her throne, which looks kind of like an abalone shell. And it's obscuring the moon and what's beneath it and that galaxy that's going down behind her. She sits, looks like the veil in this one is sitting next to her. So she's partially pulled it down, but she's still sitting sovereign in front of it, saying, you need to come through me to get this knowledge. Because when people are exposed to too much too quickly, it's extremely overwhelming and offsetting. And that's also a message for you with the new things that you're coming into in this new phase of success and prosperity, being seen, moving, coming into wealth. All of these things are going to come to you slowly and steadily, because if they came to you in a rush, even though they're things that you want, it would offset you. It would be a lot. You would be overwhelmed. You would have to adjust. And there are these messages coming through about the importance of old growth. You see the tree behind the Emperor? Trees take time. Stability takes time. And all of the good things that are well structured and that will hold up are slow and steady growth. Things that come in and knock you down are chaos. Even if they're good things, it's still chaos. So it's important to constantly be checking in with yourself, to constantly allow others to receive the divine messages, or to receive anything that you're putting out. Every time I talk about art, I think about painting and how sometimes new types of art will be really shocking to people in the beginning. And then after a while, they will acclimate to them. And as more people paint in that style, or as more people are exposed to that artwork, particularly as the generations come up, anyone who's exposed to something early on in life isn't going to think it's shocking in the way someone who's never seen it in their 80 years of existence will. So the gods think on the long term. It's the long con, they're saying. They think holistically over generations, over hundreds of years. Their plans stretch out. And as your life will stretch out, some of you have been living a very long time with these struggles, with all of these energies and these gifts that you couldn't manifest or didn't know what to do with. And now that you're coming to a point where you can fully embody them, they're saying, take your time, take baby steps, acclimate, do a little bit more, acclimate. Do not rush yourself. They have built-in time. Another major arcana, the universe. I think this one's an extra card after the world in this deck. Yeah. Oh no, it's 21. It might be the world. Or am I thinking, is the world 20? The point is, the universe is so vast. And even what you hold, what you can see in front of you, is such a small fraction of it. Your existence is such a small part of the bigger picture. There's absolutely no reason to overwhelm yourself or to rush. And particularly because when you are running like that and when you're hustling, you miss a lot of the things going on around you because so much of this collective is waking up together. There's a lot of amazing stuff that's going to be happening around you of other parts of this collective, other members putting out art and gifts, and you want to see those. You want to be inspired by those. You want to experience them. You want to live your life in that way where you get to be a part of it, not just because you're doing, but also because you get to take in. That's the feminine side of the energy. The masculine side is doing, writing, painting, singing, running, building. But then the feminine side is getting to see and just relax and enjoy and let it all wash over you, and smelling the flowers and just sitting and staring at a piece of art for hours in the museum, taking it in, is the opposite balanced side. And if you're too focused on this one little bit here in your hands, the universe that you're creating, the universe that you're part of, you're going to miss the rest of it. All out there being beautiful for you. And it is for you. It's all here for us together. We're creating for ourselves and for each other. So everyone else is also creating for themselves and for you. So you should definitely experience it and take the time to be in the world, to be part of the world, and to do things that you love. Not just for others, not just to be seen, but sometimes the best art comes out of people who don't even know that they're being watched or don't intend to share it, but they just do it for themselves. And it just so happens other people find that interesting. I'm gonna get a couple more from this and then I'll get an oracle to close. Let's see. This one, and this one. Okay, what do we have here? The Two of Cups, like I was saying, mirroring everyone else. Your gifts go to them, their gifts go to you, and together we go forward to the mountain. And the mountain is made of beautiful things, beautiful colors, beautiful flowers, and lots of emotions. The water is always emotions. They're saying it's a beautiful thing for you to be able to participate, to be able to feel like you're part of it, and to be able to see everyone else there together with you. We've got the Page of Wands. I'm not sure what she's holding here. It looks like a rock that's on fire. But that makes sense because in a collective you can accomplish more than any one person ever could. Particularly when you're divinely inspired and guided, which we are now. And you can see the gateway behind her going to another realm. When you all work together, the sum is more than the individual parts. Because there's extra that can be added in. There's more that they can give you. There's magic that can be utilized when you're in flow and when you're collaborating and when you're giving your gifts freely and inspiring passion in others. The fire doesn't come from her. The fire is coming from whatever she's holding in her hand and she's giving out. And it's going to ignite in others. And the Knight of Swords in reverse. Again, there's three of him, but they're reflections because he is more than himself. There's no guardian for this new gateway. And I believe those are statues of Ra, the sun god. In the back, the falcon with the hat, I forget what those hats are called. But the gate is no more. You see, the moon is completely around the gateway. It had been blocked off before. It had been hidden. The moon has hidden things. But now, with the planetary alignments here coming up, the gate is to be seen. It's kind of like in some of those movies. I know Lord of the Rings did it, where you could see the gate when the moon was out, when there were certain alignments. I know there are a bunch of other movies that have done it. But now is that time where there had been these passageways of light that were obscured until this time that we're in, until we were all ready to be awakened together. Yeah, the Ten of Swords. She's wearing them like peacock feathers. And she's meditating. All of the pain that you suffered, all of the ways that you were blocked off from communicating, because the swords are communications, all of these thoughts you had that you couldn't share, they're now part of your plumage. They're now part of what makes you beautiful. And they're now, we also got the Ten of Swords, I think last time. They're now not just a burden that you can easily bear, but they're not even a burden anymore. They're part of what makes you beautiful. They're part of who you are. They're what makes you special and different. And it's useful to always have your swords with you so you can cut somebody down. Although the swords, metaphorically in the tarot, are about cutting through illusions. They are instruments of truth. So when you see something that isn't right, you can cut through it with your words and your thoughts and your knowledge. Yep, I converse with awareness. And there, out of her mouth, comes the truth. And it's tangible, you can see it. And then she's got the hummingbird in her ear, which was representative of spirit, talking to her directly, sharing the wisdoms of the universe. And this is how you are now. You can breathe truth like fire, either by speaking it directly or by the way in which you communicate your thoughts and express yourself. It is truth that comes out of you. And so you must go forward and intend for it to be the truth, but it will be if that's what you want, because that's who you are as part of this collective. You speak truth, you live truth, you exhibit truth, and you create things that are exemplary of the universal truth. It's kind of like how a lot of the artwork that we find in archaeology is about the beliefs of the people who created it. It tells you a lot about what they thought and what their religious ideas were and kind of how they lived their life, not just from day to day, like what they did, but how they believed that life should be led. And that's kind of what we're creating now as a collective, is the art of how this life should be led. And it's beautiful and it's nature-based and it's quiet and still and slow, like the trees that we talked about. You now have the gifts to prevent people from pushing it forward and from hustling and rushing. And I'm trying to find not the king, the emperor with his tree. Although as I was going past the empress, this looks like the bottom of a tree too around her with the rings, and look how far they are apart. You have lots of time to grow and to grow together. And when you make this stable environment and this new way of being that everyone accepts because it's just the new paradigm, and it's beautiful and it's slow and it's for us, you will be part of that, and we will all live harmoniously and cut out the lies and the villainy they're saying, the greed, these things that people create to cause chaos so that they can benefit personally, and in ways that don't fulfill them, but that they've told themselves will, because it's easier than actually living in truth and harmony. Do I want another card? I want one more. Oh, two came. What do we have? I am trustful in my relationships, and I can be trusted. Interesting. The feather here in the hand reminds me of a quill. Like the things that you say, again, back to truth. You speak truth, you hear truth, and you know it, and you cut down anything that isn't truth. And it's a melding. The circle is usually spirit, and then the triangle is one of the four elements, depending on its orientation and if it has a cross. And again, the sun behind, because from joy and happiness, you bring forward truth and you connect to everyone. This collective isn't just people like you, people from where you are. It's all connected everywhere because it's meant to be, because it's a world collective. And even if you don't speak the same language as someone, and even if you don't come from their background, that's part of the beauty of it, because you still have these similarities as being part of this collective, of being part of this truth. And now with the internet, you can communicate with them and see them from afar. It kind of reminds me of one of those futuristic like portal videos that they did in some movies, where the person's face just appears in them. And then you can chat. You see the triangle again, connecting their minds together into the divine. You are of the same wavelength. So just be yourself. Be part of this collective, connect to the others. Don't be afraid to reach out and see what brings you happiness, what brings you joy, and what you enjoy taking in. Because your enjoyment brings the vibration up for everyone. And it shares out to everyone. I think I'll stop there. I love you. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you soon.